Chapter 24, The Final Story. Not every story ends with a battle. Some end with a choice. And some don't end at all. The Hollow Tree, dusk. The days in Neverland had grown longer. Not by time, but by feeling. The light hung in the sky like a promise, warm, patient, unhurried. Trees bore fruit that didn't rot. Flowers blinked open only when sung to. The air itself smelled of ink and rain. Wendy sat beside the fire with a new journal on her lap. It was blank. Not because there were no stories left, but because this one had reached its edge. Peter sat across from her, rolling a smooth stone in his palm. He hadn't spoken in a while. He was thinking about the final page. What happens next? A lost boy asked. Wendy looked up. The boy was barely 15, freckles, a small scar by his left eye. His voice was quiet, but it carried. Cale stood near the fire too. Others had gathered, silent, curious. Peter looked at Wendy. Wendy looked at the boy. She closed the journal softly and smiled. That depends. On what? On who writes it. A long pause. Peter stood. He didn't rise like a king or a god. He rose like a boy who had finally rested enough. I've written long enough, he said. I think it's her turn. He nodded to Wendy. And then to the lost. All of you. That night the story is passed. Around the fire, each child told their version. One said Neverland began as a single tear fallen from a broken star. One said it was born in the last dream of the first orphan. One said it had no beginning and maybe no end. Wendy didn't interrupt. She just wrote it down. All of it. Every lie, every truth, every heart. She wasn't recording the facts of Neverland anymore. She was recording the myth. Later, at the edge of the sea, Peter stood alone on the cliff where he once watched Hook's ship burn. Wendy joined him. You're leaving, she said. He nodded, not far. She waited. I'm not needed like I was. You changed that. Will I see you again? Peter looked out to the horizon. You'll see pieces in stars, in tide, in story. And if I forget, he smiled, then I'll remind you. She touched his hand. He kissed her forehead, then stepped back and vanished, not into shadow, into memory. The final page. Wendy returned to the hollow tree. She opened the journal and wrote, This is the story of a boy who never grew up, a girl who did, a monster who wanted to be loved, a fairy who burned too bright, a war waged not with swords but with stories. And it ends here. But if you ever find your way to the edge of sleep, listen for the wind. You just might hear him laugh.